welcome to the podcast. Today it's Cody and I. That's what you're going to be getting most of these weeks. We'll have some people drop in here and there. So today we are talking about
Why we haven't posted anything.
Yeah, why we haven't been posting lately. So apparently I have a band and it's called Box One. We do a lot of we've been doing a lot of video stuff. We have an EP coming out next month, so we're real excited about it. But we do that. I've been filming some music videos for some people and doing weddings and stuff like that. So we kind of run skim on SD cards around here. And I've been getting lazy and not uploading the podcast as soon as we're done. And so that's happened a couple weeks in a row. I lost a couple clips and that's what's happened. So we're back. We actually had a fan of ours, Tony, was asking about the Cowboys. So it gave us an idea. Anybody that has any topics you'd like us to talk about on here, you just send us a message on the Facebook page or comment below. You can text message Cody. I'll leave his number in the comment sections.
Yes, that's what I want.
And so
that was anything else. We'll talk about anything, really.
Yeah, we'll talk about anything.
Like right now, we're talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, because that's what Tony, out of all things, Tony wanted to know about the Dallas Cowboys and why they suck.
Hey, he likes some sports. No, they don't even suck. They have a really good offense right now. Dak Prescott's playing the best football he's played ever, I think.
He's on pace for 5,000 yards.
Yeah, he had like 3 or 4 400-yard games right now. He's playing really well. I think my big thing with the Cowboys right now is their inconsistencies on offense. And the coaching staff, really. Not really the staff. Like Kellen Moore, I think they've clicked well. Him and Dak have clicked well this season. But it's Jason Garrett's, I don't know, he's had too long and has done very little. You see what good coaching does with the Patriots, with the Chiefs.
I mean, he's been there like 10 years now.
The Steelers, yeah, even though the Steelers aren't having the best, just Mike Tomlin. Yeah, he's been there for a long time, like 10 years, I think.
And I think he's like 1-7 in the playoffs.
Yeah, they won like 1 or 2 games. They might have, last year might have been their second
He's probably
win or
not
something.
even played 8 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just at some point you got to move on from that. And because I think coaching plays a big factor. They got a good defense. They got a good offense. It's like there's one thing that's going wrong. It's the coaching. Obviously, it has to be that. I mean, but besides the fact they're still doing good. And like what everybody says and everything is.
My dog. I'm sorry, guys.
It's the truth though. It's like people were talking about how like their identity used to be Zeke, and it's slowly changing to Dak. If Dak can throw the ball well, then they're gonna win. It used to be, because I think the statistic was like I can't tell you the percentage, but it was like if Zeke didn't get at least 75 yards, they were like 0 and something or like 1 and something. It was like a crazy number, and it's kind of turning. It's like as long as Dak's getting those throws and getting 300-400 yards a game, which that comes with them. Some teams loading the box to stop Zeke, but they're just playing good. Like I said, they could be better. I think it starts with the coaching staff. You start there, and then, like I said, you got the talent.
I just think that Jason Garrett's he's not an elite coach, man.
Mm-mm.
He's not going to outcoach you, and I really think with that roster they have at the moment, they're a good creative head coach away from being a real tough team to beat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think right now the players are just good, and they're going out there and winning these ball games. But the technical games, you're not going to win.
I tell you what, Jerry Jones should have went hardcore after Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean?
I mean, what's he doing these days?
Kyle,
I'm just kidding.
Okay. I knew you knew that. But it's like if he like when Kyle Shanahan was looking like you knew he was an option. Because like, look what he's doing with the Niners. He could be doing that with the Cowboys right now, and maybe even a little bit better because they have I think they have the better quarterback. Which I am a huge Niners fan, so like just to let people know, I love the Niners, but I think that Dak is a better quarterback than Jimmy G right now, playing a lot better.
Right, and I think you're right. I don't know about I don't think that the Razorbacks are going to get a good coach.
I hope they do. I think they will think they got a good coach, like they did with Chad Morris, because these people loved Chad Morris before they started 2 years ago.
They really did.
But no, I think they might. They need to, and they might.
They need a big name. They need someone that's done
They
something.
do.
They need somebody that's done something in the league, but they are probably not going to get that somebody. I've seen things floating around, which it's all Facebook garbage, but I've seen they're talking about getting Houston Nutt back.
Yeah,
and people are
stuff
sharing.
like that.
Well, it's not that I believe the article. I hope it's not true. I mean, I don't care if it's true, but it would be hilarious if they did bring him back, because it's like literally I looked at the dude's records. He wasn't that good. And they were like cursing him out of there.
Oh, people hated him when he was like by the time he left.
And I literally see people sharing it, and I'm like, "This nostalgia. I don't know. It's not good nostalgia. I don't know why you are."
He would. If I was him, I would never return.
I think it would be hilarious.
It would be funny.
I would laugh so hard if he came back.
Someone tweeted at Lane Kiffin or something. I think that was who it was. He coaches at Florida Atlantic, and they were like, "You need to come coach the Hogs." He's like, "I appreciate the offer," or something on the Twitter. I was like, "But I guess you've never been to, I think, Boco or something." That's where he coaches, like on the beach or something. So it's like that's him being like, "No, I'm not leaving the beach to come coach up there."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about college football, so I don't really know who's available. But you got to do something, man. You're a good. You need a good coach. You need an elite coach.
Yeah, because that's in college. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Because if you have that big name coach, that brings the recruiting, and then once that comes, it's just
you're flipping players.
It's just as
every
long as
4
that
years,
yeah, as long as you're
probably every 2 years you're flipping players.
I think college is kind of more of you have to have a good head coach, more important than like NFL, because if you have a good head coach in college, that's going to bring in your recruits. Because like especially at a big name college like Alabama, you got Nick Saban. That brings in Nick Saban alone. That name brings in so many recruits. But it's also gotten to the point, if Nick Saban was to leave, Alabama's gotten so big that they would still get some recruits. They would still get a lot of recruits.
And they would hire the good head coach as well.
Yeah, they would hire, but maybe not as good as Nick Saban, but they would hire a good one and then still get the majority of their recruits and still be a good team. But to become, I think, a big name, big football school, you have to have that good head coach to start to get the recruiting and all that nonsense.
Yeah,
that's why I kind of don't like college.
All that mumbo.
I'm just a bigger fan of NFL. I don't like when people say, "Oh, they play harder."
Yeah, that's silly.
That's silly. That's so silly.
I'm not a big fan of college.
No,
anyway.
I don't think they play harder. I think it's just you have some people out there that are playing harder because they know they're never going to make to the next level and they're leaving it all out there. But I don't. These people in NFL are playing for a paycheck.
Right. My thing with college is I just don't like the whole system of it, man.
Yeah,
I think they should be semi-professional teams.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get around when it comes to all that. I totally agree, and they want to get paid, and they should get paid, but they also shouldn't be getting to go to college for free because they're good at a sport.
Well,
just because it brings money into the college.
The crazy thing is you don't even really need college anymore unless you're doing a like specific job, and those jobs are getting smaller. I mean, it's crazy the amount of people that go to college versus the amount of people that use their college degree. or
Yeah.
even get a college degree.
Yeah.
But like every person, I would like to see the statistic of people that don't get a degree and like the average student loan debt of people that without a degree. You know what I'm saying?
I bet you could find those numbers somewhere.
Yeah.
It's probably the
Jamie,
dig.
can you look that up? No. But for real, and my thing with that is it's just like, dude, but I don't think that this younger generation, like 18 and under, growing up with YouTube, they're not getting fooled these days.
No.
I bet that the college rates in the next 10 years of people going to college is going to be a lot less. I bet it's not like it was when we were in school where you're like,
I would hope not, because
it's
like
fading out.
Yeah, people are starting to realize it's kind of a
We-
scam, and then more people. It's not a scam, but if you're going for something useful and getting like a doctor, a lawyer,
Right.
shit like that, but it's
It
like,
should be a very serious thing.
but you're going for like liberal arts or women's studies, which I'm not trying to bash on women or
Business
anything.
degree.
Like yeah, something like, and you're not gonna go like if you're getting a business degree and you don't plan on going to start your own like business or something or doing something businessy.
Well, you don't even need a business degree to start your own business.
Yeah,
You would be better off to go work for somebody in the field that you want to start your business in.
yeah.
And spend your 4 years in that. But people, I mean, there's probably still a lot of people going to college because it's just a fun thing to do.
Oh, I went to college for a year, and it's the most fun thing I've ever done.
I bet it's a blast. Luckily, I was too dumb to go to college. And but my thing is like I sat in the counselor's office every day, and I had terrible grades. And she was like, "You need to take your ACT. You need to go to college." And I'm like, "Have you looked at my grades? Like, what do you think I'm gonna do in college? I'm gonna lose all my money."
Oh yeah, I didn't want to. I made my mind up like 2 months before, like the deadline. I was like,
Yeah,
let's go. And then it was super fun. It was the most amazing thing. It was so, and like I went to a small college too, compared to some of these bigger ones, which that's how I like that a little bit more. But
I mean, you do
It's
have
fun.
fun, but
It's
is it
so
worth
fun.
the debt?
no,
No.
but it would be worth the debt if I never had to pay them again, like defer them for a while because I don't make enough and stuff, because people do that.
Yeah.
Or just like if I have a scholarship to not have to pay for it or something like that, it'd be worth it, because it's you go. Okay, hold on. What?
No, we're good. He's gonna quit barking.
It's like your own little town. It's like all these people live in this little town. And you got food and drinks.
Well, it's just basically high school, but you can get drunk. And
No, it's not even. No. It's like you're on your own.
yeah.
It's nothing like high school.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's like you moved out and you're living in an apartment, but you're also walking to class and like doing whatever the hell you want to do. Like if you don't want to go to class, don't. You might fail that class, but if you're not worried about debt, you could stay there for a while.
And that's where people get
Oh, they get sucked in.
they get it. Hang on. Oh my god.
Who was it?
Brian's here.
That's good.
Well, that scared the shit out of me. I just
That
thought
scared
Rocket
me.
was barking at something, and Brian's walking in the door. He didn't tell me he was coming back over.
That's wild.
Yeah. So
But
anyway,
yeah, it's fun. That's what people get sucked
but
into that fun.
and then people are just not smart, and people just live for the moment, and they just want to have a good time,
oh yeah.
and then
Which is, there's nothing wrong with that if that's the way you want to do things.
yeah.
But
But
it's
if you
not
wanna
the
get
smartest
somewhere-
way. Yeah, but even like you'll still get somewhere. It's just gonna take you a little bit longer, I think, and you're wasting money.
It's gonna take you a lot longer. Because here's the deal, like I'm 25, and so now I went into the real world. I'm marinated in the job world, you know, the 9 to 5, and learned a lot of things, and then figured out what I wanted to do, and now I feel like I'm very smartly equipped to do like to like, here's the thing. The ultimate thing I think in life is to mesh what you can make a living doing with what you like to do. And so, like, me and Brian, we've always liked making videos. We made videos when we were kids. Made a bunch of movies on an old, old cameras. Like, I'd write scripts out, and me and Brian would make a movie. We'd use Colby and Preston and my sister, and so then, now I'm applying that with everything I've learned so far, and you're getting to do things you enjoy to do to make money. And not only that, now we're getting to use our music, because like half the battle is just having a lot of people think that being a musician and like being in a band is like you just go up there and you're just talented and people just like you. But it's like there's a lot of talented people that don't ever get heard.
Yeah.
It's because they're not business smart. Like, it's way more
They don't
professional
build a
than you think.
structure to build it up.
Exactly. Like, it's a long road. They changed band names, give up,
Yeah.
go on hiatus. It's like,
Impatient.
yeah, and like we're nowhere near obviously where we need to be yet. We're about to drop our first EP, but we have an actual plan. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that in longevity, like it's no different than starting a business. Like, if you're going to start a business, it's because it's something that you're talented at. You have a skill,
Yeah.
and you're going to figure out how to make money with it. And the deal is, I sat around and I watched all these people, going on Joe's podcast, and they're all like, just telling me like, dude, you just got to have a plan and then do it. And so now that's what we're doing. And I think if I had gone off to college and done all of that, I would just be 4 years behind on all of this. So I might not
Yeah.
mentally be where I'm at till I'm 30 instead of 25, and like that experience, I don't think it's worth it. And then it sucks you in, man. Like, so many people that they just live their life to work all week, get their paycheck, and then go out. And there's nothing wrong with going out and having a good time.
It's just, ugh.
But at some point, you got to do something to get ahead. Like, it's Friday night. We're in here doing a podcast.
That's the only like there's nothing wrong with going out, but and that's one thing that I've grown to understand. It's like that's how people are gonna be, and like
they're addicted to the fun.
They
have so much fun because it is a good time.
But they're more. It's more like they're just content with, and there's nothing wrong because I'm in the same boat, but I don't go out and do stuff. Like, I'm content with where I am in life right now because it's like you can survive. You make enough money to pay the bills and live a decent life. And but I spend instead of going out, I spend my money on other things like PC stuff.
Yeah.
Video games. Food. Shit like that. It's like, but like I don't go out and do stuff, and it's like,
I guess it's.
But you're saying it's like they're not really getting ahead. It's like I'm not like you, but I'm helping. Like, I've been helping you out with all this as much as I can, and that's kind of, I guess that's me right now trying to do that, get ahead. But before this, it's like I was perfectly fine with going to work. But that's the thing.
But you saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
See, it's no different than me. I saw an opportunity. If I didn't see an opportunity.
But I'm just saying that's just how some people. It's like some people just don't care, man. They're like, I'll go to work and make my money and live my life as content as I want.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Yeah. I'm not bashing that.
No.
But I'm saying that, like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's a good habit to go out every weekend.
No.
I don't think
I think that's a bad
it's hard
habit.
on your body. It's dangerous.
Because it just leaves you open for, like, I think, like, the more you go out, because eventually, like, a lot of people they drink and drive.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, Briar, remember, of course you remember Briar, but remember what he would say is, like, the more you do it, it's like you have so many chances of not getting caught, and, like, the more you do it, eventually you're going to get to that point. Like, like he was saying, he used to say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going out every weekend, and majority of the time you're driving home drunk, eventually you're going to get pulled over. Eventually you're going to get fucked.
It's just like the probability.
A lot of money.
It's like the probability of aliens. It's like there's so many planets. What's the odds? Like, it's.
Well, Pluto's a planet now again, so the odds kind of go down a little bit.
I'm talking about in the universe. And so, like, you're talking. I mean, it's just your odds are worse that there's not life out there. And
I don't know.
no, I mean, for real. If you think about it, like all like whatever take you want to take on it, you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't, your religious views or whatever, but you pretty much believe like science, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's things
I know
that you
sci-
question in science,
That's the thing.
but you
I
pretty much
somewhat-
agree with the way the science says life is, like where life, like what it takes for life to be around.
I
like
believe
the
science enough-
oxygen,
I believe science enough that there's
An atmosphere.
I understand that there's a possibility that there's
water,
other life out there.
exactly.
But
so if you have
there's
all
science.
these planets,
We'll get back to that.
so if there's, they're uncountable in the universe. Like,
Yeah.
it's infinite. So if there's, let's just put a number on it. If there's 1 billion planets, you're like, if this has happened at one planet, which is our planet, then the likelihood out of 1 billion, you have to go to
Yeah.
each billion and count that time. So it's 1 in 1 billion chance that this has only happened once. Because each planet you go to, it's going to be a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Because all it takes is the same components that made us have life.
I mean, I agree with that. I understand that. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But
so it's more likely that there's alien life out there. I'm not saying that it's likely that they're super smart. I mean, they're at least could
They-
be as smart as us.
they could at least be us.
Exactly. Because this is the peak of technology that we know.
Yeah.
So they could be as good as us to our knowledge.
Yeah.
Reasonable knowledge. And so, but, okay, I'm going to have to tell you about my UFO thing now.
I want to go back to when you said I believe in science real quick. I believe science, and I believe what science is. I know what science is, but it's also like I don't trust the scientists. I don't know. I just feel like it was a human that figured it out. They used a formula that a human made, and we're trusting that we all just happen to get it right. And we're just like, we're agreeing that it's right and that's how it's going to be. It's like, but it's like, says who? Says the guy that made the freaking formula. It's
On
like,
some things, some topics, but a lot of it is measurable and measurable things.
well, we
but
measured
here's
it
what
with the
you
units
can't
of
say.
measurement we made, the humans made up, and that's where I get to. It's like,
Yeah, but I feel like the foundations of like a lot of these measurements is like 2 + 2. Like they've built and made more complicated measurements off these very simple measurements. But the main problem is that you and I are too stupid to read any of the
I'm not
stuff.
stupid. No,
But you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like I watch all these. The problem with YouTube is you can get on YouTube and you can find a video to support any argument that you want.
hmm
And a lot of the videos,
that's
are-
not a problem. That's a thing about YouTube.
Yeah. Well, it can be a problem on just plain blatant bullshit. But either way, I'm not saying to censor anything. It's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is a lot of the videos, I'm like, I'm too stupid to know if you're lying to me. Like,
yeah.
I'm
that's-
trying to keep up with you. But like when Richard Dawkins talks about evolution and goes all through it, like I'm with you. Which Richard Dawkins, there's things I disagree with him about. Not so much on the evolutionary chart, but just more like spiritual things.
My thing is that those people, like current people, study what older people have done, and like I'm not trying to get too deep into religion, but if you've read the Bible, people are pretty gullible when it comes to what older people have done, and it's like, it's just. And I get that a lot of it probably is true, but it's always in the back of my mind
I'm
that
more
it's
go
like
with
a human person figured that out. That is their opinion, and I will always think that there's some sort of bias or not rightness.
those things are true on what you're talking about if you're using documents, historical documents for your history. I more go with like the geologist, where they're looking at visible things, like they're They're going out. They're looking at the layers of rock. They're looking at how, they think, like a lot of the, like in the Badlands, they're saying that like icebergs, when they had ice, that's what cut the Badlands out. Things
What's
like
the
that.
Badlands?
Like they're out west. I'm way too dumb to talk about these sorts of things. But here's what I'm getting at. So what I'm saying is the geologist, or like when the one I'm more versed in is like the pyramids.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody dates the pyramids to about 4,500 years ago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've already predated it because 4,000 years ago it was a desert. Well, there's tons and tons and tons of water erosion, like on the Sphinx. Okay.
Yeah.
The Sphinx, do you know what the Sphinx is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it was buried when they found it. So they dig it up because the sand would bury all that stuff over time, bury the pyramids, everything. They dig it all up. Well, what they discovered was that the Sphinx, because they dated that to 4,500 years ago, well, they started dating the rocks, and they were like, this stuff's eroding. Like, this looks like water erosion. Well, there hasn't been water in here except for like 12,000 years ago, which predates what people would have been calling like the don't hold me to this, but like first settlements of civilization. They're calling like 10,000 years ago. I think like when language appeared. I needed Jamie so he could be looking this up for me. I don't know exactly when they I really hate saying things out of
Yeah, I understand.
I want to have dates.
I agree. Like, I understand all that. That's stuff I agree with when it comes to science.
But anyway,
it's more of the numbers thing.
So the pyramids, basically, let's say prior to 10,000 years ago, they weren't making big architect like that, or structures, and so, well, they're finding out this stuff's like 12,000 years old. So now they're starting to say that because they're also finding where meteors have hit the Earth, and it's up in the north because they can measure it. There's some kind of nuclear, some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Some kind of like
device.
No, like a
reactor.
No, it's not a thing. Like a energy it puts off.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when these
I get
hit,
what you're trying
there's
to say
only
now.
two kinds of things: a nuclear explosion that we caused, like a nuke, or a comet, because they apparently somehow have put off the same kind
radioactive energy.
Exactly. If a comet hits, it puts us in a nuclear winter.
It's like a radioactive. That's what you're
exactly
looking for.
Exactly.
Radioactive energy type.
Where they found they've marked these and they've hit where the ice caps are now. So this is all under all that stuff where it hit a long time ago. So they're saying that civilization has risen, built all these structures because the Sphinx 12,000 years ago was the last time there was water out in the Sahara.
Yeah.
Because back then that was like a rainforest. Little fact. And they dated it back, so it has to be at least 12,000 years old with the water erosion that it's taken. So the Egyptians, they believe, didn't build the pyramids. They didn't build the Sphinx. They just merely came in and took it over.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah.
And I figured out, because I've always been, how did they build the pyramids? Okay, that one's really twisted one in my head, because you know how heavy those stones are.
Probably pretty freaking.
We don't
heavy.
even have technology today to lift them. Do you know that?
I couldn't imagine that.
It's a fact. They're that heavy.
I'd have to.
No, I mean, for real.
I'd have to I'm not saying you're lying to me, but in order for me to 100% believe that, I'd have to read that.
In order for me to 100% believe that, I need to read it, because. But anyway, it's pushing what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just say that. Okay. I don't know. My Google's not working at this moment. I don't have a Jamie, but so I can't fact check stuff.
It's
But
good. We don't care about facts.
now what they're saying happened what they believe, and it's not aliens, because I went on the alien train, which I'm still could halfway be like, maybe they built this stuff, because it seems plausible. But because do you know that they're congruent with like Orion's belt? The pyramids are with constellations.
I've seen stuff like that, with the stars.
It's gnarly. So not only did they build this crazy thing, they also aligned it with constellations. And it goes into more things that I'm not smart enough to relay to you. But anyway, so what they're thinking now is they concreted these things. So they did it with forms. They knew how to make concrete. And that is plausible to me. Yeah. So you start at the bottom, you form it, pour it, go up, form it, pour it. And I'm like, I could get behind that one. That's the first one that did not involve aliens that I've been able to get behind.
Moving big ass stones.
Exactly. Now there are structures around the world like Stonehenge.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did Stonehenge.
Yeah. But that's science I can get behind.
What I just said?
Stuff like that. I get behind stuff like that. I was thinking today, and it was such a high thought, and I was at work thinking about this. It's the thought of like how humans create these things, like time. Like we talk about like the way we process our time. Don't you think with the universe expanding over that time, our concept of time would change, like, because like our minute would be quicker because of or would it be slower, like because of the event, and like, or are we even affected by that, by like something like that?
I don't know what you're asking me,
because I'm thinking like it was more of like if we made time, we made 60 seconds as a minute,
right?
Why don't like people talk about slowing down time, like we could, and it was more of like this is like humans could literally slow down time. We just be like, now 120 seconds is a minute, and 10,000 days is a year. You know what I mean?
But I think they base time off the rotations of the sun.
Well, I know that,
which is weird that it's
seconds?
Congruent with our life. That's what's crazy to me.
I'm talking about down to like the seconds.
To like us dying. Well, no, here's the deal. I don't know if you knew this.
I know how they made, like why they
did time. But time is not the
but
same. Did you know that if we were born simultaneously, side by side, I'm just kidding about the side by side. If we were born simultaneously
weird.
And somebody slapped a life watch onto us, each one of us, at the end of our lives, the time would be different because it changes by how much you move. Because if you go, have you ever watched Interstellar?
I watched like the first 10 minutes. I think I fell asleep. And
well,
I've wanted to.
Einstein had a theory, and as far as I know, it's correct. I don't think we went to the moon, so I don't think we went far enough. Well, they've done other tests, so it's.
Did you just say you don't think we've been to the moon?
I did say I don't think we went to the moon. But
anyway,
we
have proof we went to the moon. No,
we're not going there.
We have. There's a mirror on the moon that they shine a laser up. It reflects off the mirror and beams back. I don't know if it beams, but it hits the laser we shoot hits something that somebody has put on the moon. And it responds.
I think there's people on the moon.
We knew. Okay. I didn't think that's where it was going.
Have you ever seen the dark side of the moon? No.
We probably have, but
we don't have. We've only got 15 minutes left. We're gonna have to talk about my moon landing conspiracies later. They are justifiable. I'm just informed about the laser that you can shine on it. If there is a plate up there, I've never heard that before.
It's on Mythbusters.
If there's a plate up there that I can shine a light onto, I will change my mind because that's pretty reasonable. I can't defute that. I've never.
The only argument is they sent like a robot up there and put it on there, but that's the only argument, something like that. But
okay, now I'm taking back what I said just a little bit because I do believe we went to Mars. So I'm back on. I don't think we went to the moon. They could have covered it up by sending the drone up there and planning that.
That's the only.
I'll have to give you my moon stuff on another episode because there's if you're ever going to dive into a conspiracy, that's that or JFK. Yeah. Those are the two that are justifiable.
I care more about the moon than the JFK. I don't care about that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so what was I telling you? I was telling you something about. Oh Man, Cody. Einstein. Okay, so Einstein, he figured out,
Eureka.
and they tested this with bacteria. So an object, so like say I'm going to go out into deep space, like way out, like out of our solar system, okay? Say I go there and I come back, and I don't know the math, so I'm just going to use easy numbers. If I went out of our solar system and came back, I would be however long it took me to get out there age-wise. So say it took me 20 years to go, okay, out and back. I have a spaceship that could travel fast enough to get me there in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back, it would be like 200 years in the future, and you would all be dead. So
does that have something to do with the stretching of the universe?
it's got something to do with time. It's got a lot to do with a lot of things I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know.
But they did a test with bacteria, so they put a bacteria in a center, and then they had other bacteria on the outside and put it on like a gravitron type deal.
Mm-hmm.
The bacteria on the outside aged slower than the bacteria that was stationary. So that is why, literally, if you like the less you move around, the quicker your time goes. Because it goes on a small scale here, so it might be like by the end of our life, it might be like 30 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't actually know at all.
Yeah.
It could be 2 minutes. It could be 5 years. I don't know, because I don't think it's equivalent to like when you die. I don't think it's anything like that. But it is if we had literal time watches to keep up with our motion and keep up with the exact time, because we use a universal version of time, our times would be different in 50 years. I don't know about how much, but it would be different. And that is a fact. That's, unless science is lying to us, that is 100% fact.
That and that's what we've talked about before.
Well, we're
It's
too
like-
dumb to know if they're lying.
We've talked about this before. It's like the fact that the possibility that everybody has been lied to and everything's a lie. It's just people guessing at stuff, and it just sounds good, and we're just going with it. And that's what makes it more true, is that more people just go with it and go with it. It's like, that would be insane. I don't like the probability of that being it is.
I think
low,
there's too many smart people for
Yeah.
that to happen.
But then, like, what's to say that? What if there's just a bunch of dumb idiots? Like we're not dumb. I mean, but we're average smartness, I would think. But what if that's it? What if there's
I feel like I tackle science the best I can without any education in it.
Google and YouTube will teach you whatever you need to know.
Yeah, without actually understanding the subjects. Like how
You can spit that information back out, but you won't know.
like how to do the math that Einstein did to figure that out. I literally wouldn't even know the first number to write down.
E equals MC squared.
Yeah, so that's the thing on that. But I am smart enough to. Here's the way I take in information, and this is the way that I wish most people would take information, because I used to be information biased. I try really hard, like literally in the middle of this, dude. I've spent hours on the moon landing, hours, and I've been on both sides of the fence on it.
Yeah.
And in one comment that you made me, you swoo. I don't know if that's a word.
Swayed.
Well, I'm trying to use like past tense.
Yeah.
You swayed my argument. Like you were like, I was like, Cody, I don't like all the information. I was open to changing my mind on that, but so many people, they don't even listen to what you're saying.
I'm like, nope. There's not a thing on the moon that you can shine a light. Nope. It's like, what do you mean no?
That's what the first thing I said is I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh, yeah,
because I've never heard that.
You can YouTube. I think at least they'll show. I mean, I'd find the MythBusters one because it's MythBusters, but it's a place. It's like the NASA place they had that you. I don't know if it shines the laser back down. Or it's like it sends you a message saying it received it or something like. But they could. It's something like along those lines.
But I've been bullshitted enough in my life that people are like, "You're a conspiracist." No. There are just a lot of conspiracies. And I rule out the ones that, that I think are, really not it. But I mean, we're figuring out that Russia started Black Lives Matter. Did you know that?
No.
That was started by a bunch of people in Russia made black accounts, like fake black people. Like they would be on Facebook as like a Tracy that lives in Alabama and would go on these timelines and start hate speak, like stir this up. And they literally started Black Lives Matter. And that's a fact.
That's how stupid Americans are.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying is like I'm smarter than that. So like when I see, like, it's like, why are we telling people not to be conspiracists? It's like,
that's what
red flags. It's just like dating. If there's a red flag that your girlfriend's cheating on you, she's always cheating on you.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're crazy.
and then you got more problems to worry about than your girlfriend cheating on you.
But these people that think that we get the truth.
Oh, and that's what I don't like. People calling them like conspiracy theorists. It's like, no, we're not conspiracy theorists. I mean, for me, and this is how I look with every single thing, every single subject of everything. I try to, at least. And 90% of the time, I feel like I do a good job. It's not a conspiracy. I just look at it in a way that anything is possible. Anything. Anything is possible. Not like freaking people are flying with lasers shooting out of their eyes. Anything is possible. Like in the realm of human possibility, anything is possible. These people could be lying to us for our money and keeping us poor and down. It's like, but then again, it could not. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, it's not conspiracies. It's just the fact that you're understanding that anything is possible and just not really bending down.
We've been lied to. Tobacco companies, sugar companies.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, in the 90s, that's why they had the big push for cholesterol. They were like, cholesterol is giving people heart attacks, and it's the fucking sugar.
Yeah.
It's the fucking sugar. And how are these sugar companies not in prison for, like, it's insane. And it's like, now you figure out, like, cholesterol's not bad for you at all. Like, Joe just had that Nick Kessler back on. He's a nutritionist, and it's crazy the shit, like, that they've lied to you about, you know? And it's just like, but people don't do the time to do the research, and they don't weigh out the options, and
they don't believe just about anything.
They just get pissed, and they all get pissed at each other instead of getting pissed at the problem. The problem are these big corporations and people with large amounts of money.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, like, I'm talking about money.
I would think it's not like I wouldn't put it like that, but it's the majority of the time the people that are doing the wrong happen to have the large amounts of money.
I'm calling for anarchy.
It's the people with the large amounts of money that most of them are dickheads and stuff. It's like, and terrible people, but and
doing whatever they want.
But it's not. That doesn't mean everybody that's rich is bad, though.
I agree.
But but the thing, that's the problem. Like,
but I'm calling rich, like,
the people who are bad that have money. It's like, the more money you have, the more bad you can do and bullshit you can get through. Yeah.
You can be the weirdo that you want to be.
I could, and that's what I was telling Ricky and them. Like, somebody I know has posted a picture, because Bill Clinton was in town. Had posted a picture with Bill Clinton. It was a female I'm friends with on Facebook, and it was like, over getting a picture and shit, and it was like, if you don't hate, don't leave a comment if you're hating and stuff. And it was like, that dude's in the conversation of murder and rape, and people are still glorifying him. If I was in the conversation of murder and rape, people would be like, we need to stay away from him. Like,
it's insane.
Yeah, exactly. I would be in jail.
I can't even get people to listen to my music.
And they're gonna go freaking take a selfie with Bill Clinton, who's been accused of all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
but we got to wrap this up. Do you want to thank our sponsor?
Yes, I would like to thank our sponsor, iStoreIt. You can go to iStoreIt.com. It's something you can kind of make a little bit of extra money on the side if you would like. You can rent out your extra spaces in your home, like your garage, attic, rooms, etc. Just visit iStoreIt.com, and you can set yourself up to make you some money.
Thanks, guys.
Also, before you take your headset off, make sure you go check out Box Wine.
Thanks, guys.